What's up, yo? What's up, yo?
The mean football players in Darman skits are almost universally annoying by design. They serve a very specific purpose in the Darman formula, and their characteristics are amplified to clearly delineate them as the antagonists who embody negative traits before ultimately receiving their comeuppance. Here's why the mean football players, often generically named like Dylan or Kyle in some skits, are consistently annoying. 1. Bullying and intimidation.
Right.
Their primary role is often to bully, mock, or intimidate the protagonist, usually an underdog, a nerd, or a less physically imposing character. This behavior is inherently annoying because it's mean-spirited and designed to make the audience dislike them immediately.
Right.
2. Arrogance and entitlement. They are almost always portrayed as incredibly arrogant, believing their athletic ability gives them the right to treat others poorly.
That's
They feel
true.
entitled to
I can
special
see that being
treatment,
true.
success, and respect without earning it through good character. 3. Lack of empathy or compassion. The mean football players typically show no empathy for the people they bully or disrespect. They seem to enjoy putting others down, which is a universally annoying and unlikable trait. 4. One-dimensional portrayal. In the Darman formula, these characters rarely have depth or nuanced motivations. They are simply the bullies, whose purpose is to create conflict and highlight the moral lesson when they are eventually humbled. This one-dimensionality can make them annoying because they lack the complexity that might make them more interesting or relatable. 5. Predictable comeuppance. While satisfying for the audience, their predictable fall from grace, e.g., losing the game, being exposed for cheating, facing consequences, means their annoying behavior is a necessary setup for the moral. However, this predictable pattern can also make their initial annoying actions feel repetitive. 6. Jock stereotypes. They often lean heavily into negative jock stereotypes, prioritizing brute strength over intelligence, being aggressive, and looking down on those who aren't athletes. While these are common tropes, their exaggerated use in Darman skits can be annoying for those who find such stereotypes tiresome.
Right.
In essence, the mean football players are archetypal antagonists in the Darman universe. Their annoying qualities are fundamental to their purpose in illustrating the negative behavior that the moral of the story will ultimately condemn.
Steven might be annoying too. Yeah, I can see him being annoying, Steven. The one people pleaser. Oh shoot! Dang it, Steven.
Steven Universe, as the titular protagonist of a show deeply rooted in themes of empathy, healing, and emotional growth, can still be a source of annoyance for some viewers, especially at different stages of his development. Here's why Steven from Steven Universe can be considered annoying.
Right.
1. Early season naivete and immaturity. In the very beginning of the show, Steven is a young, often childish, and incredibly naive kid. He makes silly jokes, lacks understanding of gem culture and the dangers around him, and sometimes his actions, while well-intentioned, make situations worse. For viewers who prefer more competent or less goofy protagonists from the get-go, his early personality can be grating. Some reviews specifically mention his voice or his whiny nature in Season 1 as being annoying. 2.
Wow.
People
He was younger back then. People give him a break. Season 1.
pleaser tendencies and poor boundaries. As he grows, Steven's immense empathy and his desire to help everyone often lead him to become a chronic people pleaser. He struggles with setting boundaries, constantly puts others' needs before his own, and feels an immense burden to fix everyone's problems, including the Diamonds. This can be annoying to watch because it leads him into self-sacrificial situations and internal turmoil that could sometimes be avoided if he prioritized his own well-being or learned to say no.
Right.
3. Refusal to fight/pacifism for some action-oriented viewers. Steven's core philosophy is often about understanding, empathy,
See, I told you
and
he's very
peaceful
peaceful.
resolution
I
over
told
violence.
you.
While this is a profound and admirable trait for a hero, for viewers who watch Pokemon or other action-oriented shows and expect a protagonist to actively engage in combat or defeat villains definitively, Steven's persistent attempts at
Pokemon is a good example though, because Ash would definitely fight Team Rocket with his Pokemon. Okay? Of course, with help with his friends and their Pokemon. Well, how many times he did it by himself. But yeah, Steven's very peaceful.
talking through problems or healing rather than fighting can be frustrating or seem passive. 4.
Yeah.
Man-child aspects, lack of social development, early mid-series. Because he was raised primarily by the Crystal Gems, who don't fully understand human culture, Steven often lacks typical social cues and understanding of the human world outside Beach City. This can lead to awkward or oblivious moments that, while sometimes humorous, can also highlight a lack of basic social development that viewers might find annoying. 5. Perceived regression or angsty behavior in future. In Steven Universe Future, Steven deals with significant trauma and PTSD stemming from his past as the universe's savior. While this arc is critically acclaimed for its realistic portrayal of mental health, some viewers found his increased anxiety, mood swings, and occasional outbursts to be whiny or annoying,
Dang.
especially if they were expecting a continuously cheerful Steven or didn't appreciate the shift in tone.
Wow.
His struggle to find purpose after saving the universe also made him seem lost and unsure, which could be frustrating for those who wanted to see him remain the strong, positive leader.
Right.
Ultimately, Steven's annoying traits are often intertwined with his deepest flaws and his character development. For some, they highlight his humanity and growth, while for others, they simply make him difficult to watch at various points in his journey.
He gets same as Steven, the peaceful nature. I'm confident on that one. Oh, I spelled aim wrong. Oh well, you know what I'm talking about. You know what I'm talking about. Yeah, you know what I'm talking about.
Aang from Avatar: The Last Airbender is largely
Dang,
considered
dummy.
a beloved and iconic protagonist. But like any complex character, he has traits that can be annoying or frustrating for some viewers, especially when examined closely. These usually stem from his unique circumstances as a child tasked with saving the world. Here's why Aang might be considered annoying. 1. His initial immaturity and childishness. When we first meet Aang, he's a fun-loving, playful 12-year-old, chronologically 112, who would rather goof off and have fun than take on the immense responsibility of ending a war.
I mean, he's
His
still
constant
a
jokes,
12-year-old.
avoidance of his destiny, and sometimes childish antics, while understandable for his age and trauma, can be frustrating for viewers who want him to take things more seriously given the dire situation of the world. Some early season critiques specifically highlight his immaturity getting under their skin. 2. Avoidance of conflict and responsibility. Aang's core air nomad philosophy emphasizes peace and avoidance of violence. While admirable, this often translates into him trying to run from his problems or avoid confronting difficult truths and responsibilities, especially his duty as the Avatar. This pacifism, taken to extremes like his initial reluctance to kill the Fire Lord, can be annoying for those who believe a more
he don't
direct
wanna kill,
approach
I
is
understand that
necessary.
part.
3. Selfishness. Subtle but present. While generally selfless, Aang does exhibit moments of selfishness, often driven by fear or his deep attachment to his friends. A notable example is when he hides the message from Sokka and Katara about their father, fearing they would leave him. This possessiveness, even if rooted in loneliness, can be annoying. 4. Possessiveness/jealousy regarding Katara. Aang's crush on Katara is a major plot point, but his expressions of it can sometimes veer into possessiveness or jealousy, particularly concerning her interactions with other characters, like Jet. This is a common teen trait, but it can be annoying when it overshadows his heroic duties or makes him seem insecure. 5. Naivete and optimism, sometimes blinding. Aang's unwavering optimism and belief in the good in
Dang,
people are core to his
boy.
character. However, this can sometimes border on naivete, leading him to trust people he shouldn't, or to underestimate the true darkness of his enemies. While this usually provides character growth, it can be annoying when it prolongs conflict or puts others in danger. It's important to remember that these annoying traits are often intentional character flaws that make Aang more human and provide opportunities for his immense growth throughout the series. They highlight the challenge of a child being burdened with such a massive responsibility.
It does. It really does. What about? Oh my God. What about Nora from the Thundermans? Is she considered annoying? She probably is.
Darman from the Thundermans is a character who often divides opinions. While some viewers find her savage and hilarious, others find her quite annoying due to specific recurring behaviors. She embodies the mischievous little sister trope to an extreme. Here's why Nora might be considered annoying. 1. Abuse of powers on siblings, especially Billy. This is perhaps the most common complaint. Nora frequently uses her laser vision to intimidate, control, or directly zap her older brother Billy. While often played for laughs, this constant physical threat and bullying, which her parents rarely adequately address, can be frustrating and even uncomfortable for viewers to watch. Some describe it as petty, selfish, and conceited. 2. Controlling and manipulative towards Billy. Beyond physical zapping, Nora often manipulates Billy into doing her bidding, leveraging his fear of her laser eyes. She can easily recruit him into her schemes, making him her unwilling accomplice or victim. 3. Mischievous and destructive tendencies. Nora enjoys causing chaos and mischief. Whether it's zapping objects, disrupting plans, or just generally stirring up trouble, her actions often lead to comedic, but sometimes annoying, messes for the family to clean up. 4. Lack of consequences. Often, a common frustration with many sitcoms, including the Thundermans, is the lack of consistent consequences for characters' bad behavior. Nora often gets away with her laser antics or mischief, with little to no punishment, which can make her actions seem more annoying to viewers. 5. One-trick pony humor for some. While her love for Bose and her savage one-liners are distinctive, some viewers might find her humor becomes a bit repetitive after a while, feeling like her character relies too heavily on these few traits without much development. Despite these points, it's worth noting that Nora also has moments of genuine care for her family, particularly in episodes where she shows loyalty or a softer side. However, her more annoying traits are certainly prominent in her characterization.
But here we are now.
Let's see. Okay, so I didn't know that was a problem with her using her laser eye to Billy. Bully Billy. I grew up watching the original Thundermans, not the movie or show of it, Thundermans. But I grew up watching Thundermans when I was younger. Though. I grew up watching it, though, the one on Nickelodeon some years ago. I don't remember that in the show. I do remember when we finally learned Chloe's power. That episode, when we learned it, it was so cool when I learned that. It was good to learn her power. Finally know what her power is. What about
This is the famous footwear that told everyone which Rickenbacker twin was which. What happened to the night teacher? She just literally disappeared into the
okay. It's loading up, y'all. I'm cleaning my eye, so go here.
The Mean Girls in Darman skits are almost universally designed to be annoying, serving as clear antagonists in the formulaic structure of his videos. Their characteristics are amplified to create immediate conflict and to set up the moral lesson. Here's why the Mean Girls in Darman skits are consistently annoying. 1. Bullying and shaming. Their primary role is to bully, belittle, and shame the protagonist, often a poor kid, an outcast, or someone who doesn't fit in, for their appearance, social status, possessions, or hobbies. This behavior is inherently unlikable and annoying. They might shame a poor girl for her old car, leak a teen's diary, or shame someone for their school lunch or nerdy interests. 2. Arrogance and snobbery. They are always portrayed as incredibly arrogant, often believing their wealth, popularity, or perceived attractiveness gives them the right to look down on everyone else. This sense of superiority and entitlement is very off-putting. 3. Superficiality and materialism. The Mean Girls are typically obsessed with outward appearances, designer brands, social media trends, and popularity. They judge others solely on these superficial metrics, which reinforces their annoying, shallow nature. 4. Lack of empathy or compassion. They rarely show any genuine empathy for the people they torment. Their actions are driven by cruelty, insecurity, or a desire to maintain their social hierarchy, making them unsympathetic and, therefore, annoying. 5. One-dimensional portrayal. Like the mean football players, these characters are generally one-dimensional. They exist to embody negative traits and to receive a clear comeuppance, rather than to be complex, evolving individuals. This lack of depth can make their constant mean-spiritedness feel repetitive and tiresome. 6. Predictable behavior and downfall. Their actions and eventual lessons learned follow a highly predictable pattern within the Darman formula. This predictability can make their initial annoying behavior feel less impactful as viewers anticipate their inevitable humbling. 7. Exaggerated reactions. Their reactions to anything perceived as uncool or beneath them are often over the top and dramatic, designed to maximize their annoying persona. In essence, the Mean Girls and Darmon skits are deliberate caricatures of typical high school bullies, crafted to be as annoying as possible to highlight the moral message that kindness, humility, and inner worth are more important than superficial status.
Okay, so what about...
She parked in a handicap spot. Is she really handicapped? Is that Mama's mom? I guess not. He took one look at her and said, stranger danger. I cannot stop laughing. Hello, stranger. Oh, she's back. You have such a creative mind. Why did make it look like she's fired? Such a good job. She's still here? This. Oh, Patty. Is something wrong with that? No, the hummingbird. It reminds me of your mama. Why is your mama a hummingbird? It's the least I can do considering you brought me that.
Emily, the Yellow Ranger from Power Rangers Samurai, is a character who often receives mixed reviews from fans. While intended to be sweet and compassionate, certain aspects of her portrayal, combined with the general criticisms of Samurai as a season, can make her annoying to some viewers. Here's why Emily might be considered annoying. 1. Too sweet or naive to a fault. Emily is often characterized by her unwavering kindness, optimism, and sometimes childlike innocence. While these are positive traits, for some viewers they can come across as overly naive or even a bit saccharine. Her constant cheerfulness might feel unrealistic or even annoying when the situation calls for more seriousness. 2. Lack of depth/character development. A frequent criticism of Power Rangers Samurai as a whole is its perceived lack of strong character development across the board. Emily often suffers from this, with her personality largely remaining consistent throughout the series. Viewers might find her annoying because she doesn't experience significant growth or get many dedicated episodes that explore her inner world beyond her backstory of taking her six sister's place. 3. The underdog trope can become tiresome.
Six sister players. Oh, she had six? I don't remember that.
Emily is introduced as the least experienced and most uncertain of the Rangers, having stepped in for her older sister. While her determination to make her sister proud is admirable, her initial struggles and need for reassurance, if overemphasized, can become repetitive and annoying for viewers who want to see her consistently confident and capable. 4. Limited contribution to plot, sometimes. While she's a capable fighter, some viewers feel that her specific contributions to the overall plot or major battles are sometimes less impactful compared to other Rangers, making her presence feel less essential at times. 5. Perceived blandness. When compared to more dynamic or quirky Yellow Rangers from other seasons, Emily's generally pleasant and uncomplicated demeanor can sometimes lead to her being perceived as somewhat bland or less memorable,
Wow.
which can make her less engaging and, by extension, annoying to those seeking stronger personalities. It's important to note that Emily's kind and determined nature is genuinely appreciated by many fans. However, the common criticisms of Power Rangers Samurai often involve its character writing, and Emily can fall victim to these overarching issues, leading some viewers to find her annoying.
Presenting Tyson lightly breaded almonds chicken nuggets. 2 years free from hair. Discover Ron's Smart IPL.
What about...
That boy gets here.
What about...
Thank you. Why she get so mad? She acted like she asked to borrow her favorite sweater. I just asked these napkins. So dramatic. Where have you been? Huh? You're supposed to be here an hour ago.
I went to play basketball with some friends.
You expect me to take care of this place by myself when you go out and play? I mean, yeah, I was like 10 years old. As a kid, we should go out and play.
You're right to ask about Darman moms as a collective, because they often share similar traits that make them annoying to viewers, largely due to how they function within the Darman formula. While there are some good moms, the ones who are the source of conflict or a bad example are highly criticized. Here's why Darman moms, the ones portrayed negatively, are often annoying. 1. Hypocrisy and double standards. This is a recurring theme. Many of the bad moms will preach one thing, e.g., hard work, honesty, kindness, while actively demonstrating the opposite. They might scold their child for a minor offense while engaging in worse behavior themselves, or demand respect they don't give. 2. Overly harsh, controlling, or manipulative parenting. These mothers often employ extreme disciplinary measures, try to control their children's lives, e.g., forcing them into careers they don't want, as seen in evil parents force kid to be a YouTuber
Oh.
or use emotional manipulation to get their way. Their parenting style is frequently portrayed as detrimental and emotionally abusive, making them very annoying and frustrating to watch. 3. Materialism and superficiality. A common trope for annoying Darman moms is an obsession with wealth, social status, and
What are Darman
appearances.
dads?
They might push their children to marry for money, shame them for not being popular or rich enough,
yeah,
or
that's
prioritize
cute.
designer goods over their children's well-being. This superficiality is a key part of their bad example. 4. Lack of empathy and support. These mothers often fail to show genuine empathy for their children's struggles, dreams, or feelings. Instead, they dismiss them, belittle them, or put their own desires first. They are rarely portrayed as truly supportive, especially when a child is going through a difficult time. 5. Unrealistic reactions and sudden lessons learned. For the sake of the plot and the moral lesson, these moms often have exaggerated reactions to situations and then undergo incredibly swift and often unconvincing transformations when they learn their lesson. This abrupt shift from being utterly awful to suddenly understanding the error of their ways can feel forced and annoying, as it lacks realistic character development. 6. Kicking kids out trope. A particularly common and annoying trope is the mother who kicks their child out for seemingly minor infractions or for defying their will, e.g., daughter kicks mom out wedding or similar scenarios. This extreme reaction is often seen as unrealistic and cruel, designed solely to create a dramatic setup for the child's eventual success and the mom's comeuppance. 7. Enabling bad behavior. Sometimes, in some skits, the bad mom might enable bad behavior from her child.
Hang on. I hate to ask about the Darman dads. I hate to ask about them.
E.g., giving a child a credit card to maintain an image even when in
What?
debt, only to then hypocritically punish them when the consequences arise. Overall, Darman moms, when portrayed negatively, are designed to embody frustrating and harmful parental traits to serve as clear antagonists in the morality play that is a Darman skit. Their lack of nuance, combined with their often extreme and hypocritical actions, makes them consistently annoying for viewers.
No. It's okay, so. Okay, getting a child credit card.
Without a home, without a friend, without a
Okay, Darman spell right. Oh well.
without a
Spell wrong or spell right. I'm fine with both.
and I believe all my heart that one day I shall find my guiding light to lead me out of this darkness.
I'm gonna ask about Jennifer from Jennifer's Body, played by Megan Fox. But oh well, let me see. Let me ask about
Just
Darman
like with
moms.
Darman
Dads.
moms, Darman dads are often archetypal figures whose traits are amplified to serve the video's moral. Depending on the skit, they can be portrayed as good, bad, or even as undergoing a transformation. When they are annoying, it's usually for similar reasons to their female counterparts, highlighting problematic parenting or character flaws.
That
Here
makes
are
them
reasons
bad
why
parents,
Darman
yeah.
dads, when portrayed negatively or as a source of conflict,
All about
can be
roll out.
considered annoying. 1. Neglect and favoritism.
Girl,
A common annoying
that's
trope
right.
for Darman dads
Sorry.
is showing clear favoritism towards one child while neglecting or treating another poorly. This can be seen in situations like the dad treats son differently videos, where one son is spoiled and the other is constantly put down. This unequal treatment is frustrating and unfair to watch.
Yeah, I
2.
bet.
Authoritarian and controlling. Many annoying dads are portrayed as overly strict,
Chris Ray makes the worst deadbeat. He makes the best deadbeat dad of all time in Darman skits. Darman actor Chris Reddy. Yeah, look him up.
authoritarian,
Please
or
and thank
trying to
you.
control their children's lives and choices, especially regarding career paths, relationships, or hobbies. They might dismiss their children's dreams or passions if they don't align with the dad's expectations, e.g., forcing a child into a specific career. 3. Hypocrisy and poor role modeling. Similar to the moms, these dads often exhibit hypocritical behavior. They might preach about hard work or honesty, but then cheat, lie, or take shortcuts themselves.
Wow, way
This
to go,
inconsistency
Darman
makes
dads.
them annoying because their
That's bad
words don't
Darman
match their
moms.
actions. 4. Materialism and superficiality. Some dads are annoying because they are obsessed with wealth, status, or appearances, pushing their children to prioritize these things above all else, often at the expense of their happiness or well-being. They might shame a child for not being successful enough by their standards. 5. Emotional distance and lack of empathy. These dads can be emotionally distant, failing to connect with their children's feelings or struggles. They might dismiss their kids'
Wow.
problems, be unwilling to listen, or provide only superficial solutions, making them seem uncaring. 6. Poor financial management / scamming. In some skits, the dad might be annoying due to his poor financial decisions, his tendency to fall for scams, or even his own attempts to scam others, leading to financial hardship for the family. 7. Sudden and unconvincing transformations. As with other Darman characters, when these annoying dads finally learn their lesson, their transformation can be incredibly abrupt and unrealistic. They go from being deeply flawed to perfectly understanding and supportive within minutes, which can be annoying because it lacks genuine character development. In essence, annoying Darman dads serve as a foil to the moral lesson, embodying negative parental or personal traits that are ultimately meant to be overcome or redeemed by the end of the skit. Their annoying qualities are often exaggerated for dramatic effect within the short video format.
Okay. What about Darman? I have a question about Darman now.
Let her out onto an open pasture. Let her feed on the grass with the other cows.
A lot of questions about Darman now. Don't go to Power Rangers or Boondocks or whatever.
Why do you say it like that?
That's my
Oh, I hope the Darman grandmas ain't too bad.
He's so annoying. I would say empanada.
Ain't nothing much going on with grandma. Guess it's not as popular as Darman dads and moms. Yeah.
Darman grandmas are an interesting case because they often fall into two distinct categories within the Darman universe, and whether they're annoying depends heavily on which archetype they're portraying. 1. The annoying bad grandma, less common but highly criticized. While less frequent than annoying moms or dads, when a Darman grandma is portrayed negatively, she can be exceptionally annoying for similar reasons, cruel or uncaring. In some rare instances, a grandma might be depicted as being outright cruel, selfish, or unsupportive, often towards a grandchild in need. This is particularly jarring because grandmas are often seen as figures of unconditional love and wisdom, so a negative portrayal can be very frustrating. Enabling bad behavior. A particularly annoying trope is the grandma who enables a child's bad behavior, perhaps spoiling them excessively or overlooking their misdeeds, sometimes contributing to their eventual downfall. Alcoholic/irresponsible, as per some online discussions. In very specific instances, some viewers have pointed out grandmas who are portrayed with problematic issues like alcoholism, and then still given responsibility for children, which is seen as enabling and annoying. Judgmental and controlling. Similar to the annoying mom/dad archetypes, a grandma might be judgmental about a grandchild's life choices, or try to control them in an overbearing way. 2. The generally beloved, but occasionally still annoying, good grandma. More often, Darman grandmas are portrayed as wise, kind, and supportive figures who often deliver the moral lesson or guide the protagonist. However, even these generally positive portrayals can have subtle annoying aspects within the Darman formula. The moralizer who lacks nuance. While their wisdom is typically a good thing, sometimes the good grandma is simply a mouthpiece for the video's moral. Their advice can be overly simplistic, preachy, or lack the nuance of real-world problems. This can make their character feel less like a person and more like a walking moral compass, which, in its predictability, can be a little annoying. Unrealistic sagacity. They often possess an almost supernatural level of wisdom and foresight, instantly knowing the right thing to do or say. While reassuring for the story, this can sometimes feel unrealistic and make them seem less relatable. Passive-aggressive guilt-tripping sometimes. While generally kind, some good grandmas might subtly use guilt or emotional manipulation to get their family members to do the right thing. This is a classic grandma trope, and while often played for light humor, it can still be annoying if overused. Out of touch, played for laughs. Sometimes their old-fashioned ways or lack of understanding of modern technology/culture are played for laughs. While often endearing, if these moments become too frequent or lead to unnecessary complications, they can be mildly annoying. In summary, while Darman grandmas are often positive figures embodying wisdom and kindness, the formulaic nature of the skits can sometimes lead even these positive archetypes to have subtly annoying traits due to their role as moral deliverers or simplified characters. The truly annoying grandmas are usually those specifically written to be negative influences, which are less common but elicit strong reactions.
Treaty was, which ceded California and other Mexican territories to the U.S. Isabel, her hand wasn't even up. Why you call on her?
I actually don't know.
No, you just call on her because it was a Mexico-related question, so she should know. No, well, you kind of racist.
It was the Treaty of Guadalupe Hidalgo, and it was signed.
Uh,
Wow, I thought you were Mexican.
How would you not know your own history?
That's like so sad. I remember you last, but they didn't want you there.
Too bad we don't either. It's like she literally did Mexico research the night before so she could answer this question right, just so she could use it against her. Like, oh, guess I know more about Mexico than you do. I feel like if anybody is gonna bully you relentlessly like
Oh my god, that's gonna be Brody's annoying too.
Brody Romero, the Red Ranger from Power Rangers Ninja Steel, is a character that some viewers found annoying, often more due to the show's overall writing and his specific circumstances rather than outright maliciousness on his part. Here's why Brody might be considered annoying. 1. Lack of emotional depth for his backstory. Brody's most defining characteristic is that he was kidnapped at age 6 and held captive by aliens for 10 years. However, many viewers felt the show failed to adequately explore the emotional and psychological trauma that such an experience would entail. He often seemed remarkably well-adjusted and cheerful, going to high school and living normally, with little to no visible PTSD or struggle.
Oh, so y'all basically saying he's not actually normal. He's got kidnapped, but he been kidnapped for aliens. He been captured. He was kidnapped at age of 6 by aliens. Ever since then, he been being a slave of aliens for 10 years. So basically, y'all saying is, how come he's not PTSD? He's not being sad. He's not being scared. So basically, y'all want to know why he don't have any problems. I don't know.
Which made his character feel less realistic and, for some, annoyingly shallow given his past.
Right.
2. Missing father and brother arc fell short. While the search for his father, Dane Romero, and brother, Aiden, who became Levi Weston, was a central plot point, the resolution and their integration into the team often felt underdeveloped. Viewers sometimes felt these significant relationships didn't get the emotional weight or focus they deserved, making Brody's personal journey less compelling and sometimes annoying in its perceived superficiality. 3. Limited character development. A common critique of Ninja Steel as a whole is the lack of strong character development for most of its Rangers, and Brody was no exception. He often remained a relatively static character, an, quote, exuberant, youthful, positive leader, but without significant internal growth or complex challenges that truly changed him.
Okay, well, sorry.
This can make a protagonist less engaging and, over time, a bit annoying for viewers looking for more nuanced arcs. 4. Sometimes naive or overly optimistic. As a consequence of his positive outlook or perhaps his underdeveloped trauma response, Brody could sometimes come across as overly naive or simplistic in his approach to problems. While good-hearted, this could be annoying when more serious thinking was required. 5. Perceived as generic Red Ranger. In a long line of Red Rangers, some viewers felt Brody lacked a truly distinctive personality quirk or defining trait that made him stand out beyond his backstory. This generic feel can lead to a character being less memorable and, by extension, less engaging, sometimes bordering on annoying if they don't capture interest. Ultimately, Brody's annoyance factor often seems to stem from the show's handling of his potentially compelling backstory and its general approach to character writing, rather than inherent flaws in his personality alone.
Okay, what about okay, what about shoot. I'm trying to think, yo. I'm really trying to think. I really don't know what else to pick for a character. What about? I'm pretty sure he had a show. I'm gonna put with the bunny from Wayne's Club. I could pick him. We could go with different kind of characters, or Optimus Prime from Transformers.
Naruto Uzumaki, the protagonist of the immensely popular Naruto series, is a character who generates a wide range of opinions. While many love him for his determination and journey, he can certainly be annoying to a significant portion of the audience, especially in his earlier days and in certain arcs. Here's why Naruto might be considered annoying. 1. His hyperactive, obnoxious personality, early series. In Naruto Part 1, the original series, Naruto was introduced as a loud, attention-seeking, and often immature orphan. His signature, believe it, catchphrase, his pranks, and his generally boisterous demeanor were designed to grab attention and compensate for his loneliness. For many viewers, this behavior was genuinely annoying and grating, making him difficult to connect with initially. 2. Obsessive pursuit of acknowledgement and the Hokage title, early motivation. While his dream to become Hokage is central, his initial motivation was largely driven by a shallow desire for recognition and respect from the village that shunned him. Some find this hunger for external validation to be a less mature or compelling motivation, especially when it felt like he was just pestering people to satisfy his emotional needs. 3. Talk no jutsu and idealistic solutions. As the series progresses, Naruto becomes known for his ability to talk down villains and change their hearts, often through sheer force of optimism and empathy. While this showcases his core values, some viewers find it annoying and unrealistic, arguing that he doesn't truly fix problems but rather tells people to let go of hate and believe in him. This approach can feel overly simplistic and negate the complex themes of violence and hatred the show tries to explore. 4. Stubbornness and recklessness. Naruto's never-give-up attitude, while admirable, can also manifest as extreme stubbornness and recklessness. He often charges into situations without a plan, relies heavily on sheer willpower, and can be frustratingly obtuse when presented with more logical solutions. 5. Perceived stagnation or inconsistency in development for some. While many argue Naruto has excellent character development, some viewers feel his core personality, particularly his naivete and sometimes self-centered view, doesn't evolve enough, especially in Shippuden. Critics sometimes point to moments where he seems to regress, or where his growth feels inconsistent, particularly concerning his understanding of the world beyond his own perspective. 6. Dick riding Sasuke. Obsession with Sasuke. Naruto's relentless pursuit of Sasuke, his desire to bring him back to the village, and his unwavering belief in Sasuke's good nature became a major source of
But why you gotta say like that? You couldn't say obsession, or you didn't gotta say D-riding. Do those two become a couple or something? No, I think Naruto rose the gay guy way. Anyway, let's continue on.
Annoyance for many. This obsession, often seen as overshadowing other important relationships or plot lines, could feel like Naruto was prioritizing his own emotional needs over broader objectives or other characters' well-being. 7. Overpowered status and Chosen One trope, later series. As Naruto gains immense power and is revealed to be the child of prophecy and a reincarnation, some viewers feel he transitions from an underdog working hard to a chosen one whose success is predestined. This shift can be annoying for those who preferred the narrative of a weak outsider achieving greatness through sheer grit. It's clear that Naruto's annoying traits are often flip sides of his most celebrated qualities, and his journey involves transforming many of these early frustrations into strengths. However, for a segment of the audience, these aspects persisted or evolved into new annoyances as the series continued.
Okay, so what about yeah, Darman. I've been looking up Darman's name over and over lately in this video, over and over. Darman something.
Darman neighbors, when they are portrayed as antagonists, are often extremely annoying by design, similar to the mean football players and mean girls. They exist to provide an immediate conflict that a moral lesson can resolve. Here's why Darman neighbors, the annoying ones, are consistently annoying. 1. Nosy and judgmental. A primary trait of annoying Darman neighbors is their invasiveness and judgmental nature. They constantly snoop, eavesdrop, and then form negative opinions about their neighbors, often based on superficial observations, e.g., someone's car, clothes, perceived income. They often believe they know best or have the right to comment on others' lives. 2. Petty and complaining. These neighbors are quick to complain about minor infractions or perceived annoyances, escalating small issues into major conflicts. This pettiness can be about anything from garden aesthetics, noise levels, or children playing. Their constant complaining and inability to let things go is a major source of annoyance. 3. Karen archetype. Many annoying Darman neighbors embody the Karen stereotype. They feel entitled to special treatment, demand to speak to managers or the homeowners association, and are quick to make baseless accusations or threats. They use their perceived authority or social standing to bully others. A common example is the Karen accuses Mexican neighbor of stealing type of video. 4. Hypocrisy. Often, the annoying neighbor will criticize another for something they themselves are guilty of, or for something that isn't even a problem. This blatant hypocrisy makes their judgmental behavior even more frustrating to watch. 5. Lack of empathy and understanding. They typically lack any genuine empathy for their neighbors' situations. They jump to conclusions, assume the worst, and are unwilling to listen to explanations or consider different perspectives. Their self-righteousness is a key annoying factor. 6. Quick to antagonize, slow to apologize. They are almost
Slow to
always the aggressor
apologize.
in conflicts, quick to confront or provoke, but extremely reluctant to apologize or admit they were wrong, even when proven incorrect. Their eventual comeuppance often forces an apology, but it feels earned by the plot rather than genuine remorse. 7. Exaggerated reactions for drama. For the sake of the short video format and its dramatic impact, the annoying neighbor's reactions and behavior are often over the top, designed to create immediate tension and highlight their negative qualities before the moral lesson is delivered. In essence, the annoying Darman neighbors are crafted to be easily identifiable villains, whose negative traits serve as a clear
They're villains
contrast to
now.
the positive
Villains of the
behaviors
Darman
promoted by the
world.
video's morals. Their annoying
What
qualities
Mortal
are a
Kombat
fundamental
9?
part of their character's purpose.
Okay. Okay, guys, make sure you like, comment, share, subscribe, and that's the end of the video. See ya.